Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 38 of Court of Swords. Roleplay's back. It's been 14 days since our last episode of anything roleplay, so I'm excited. I'm
Of
glad.
anything.
Of anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
E3 kind of screwed up the schedule, and then I had the bright idea to do a 24-hour stream in the middle of all that, and yeah, kind of. People are busy. It's a busy time, and just had the worst luck of anyone in the world for a couple.
I was gonna say we had this
and...
guest. We had this great guest lined up, and then she died. So that was really tragic.
That's true. Yeah, she did die. She's in my bike gang though, so we got that going for us now.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, we're part of a bike gang. You guys can join, but you have to buy a bike first.
I have a bike.
What bike gang? Like real life bike gang? I don't.
Yeah.
How's that work when you live in different places?
It's like Sons of Anarchy.
The internet, Max. It's a series of tubes.
Is it like different chapters, but every single chapter is comprised of just one person?
Oh, I didn't think. Maybe Ann does control like the LA chapter, and I'm the Texas chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could be the California chapter. I don't know why I gave myself a
is this
state in US
bicycle?
City, but yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're riding bikes, man. It's pretty dope. She hasn't started yet. She's still I was about to say Padawan, but that's so nerdy. So she's still waiting to ride. Waiting for her soul to be set free on the bike is what we say in the bike gang.
I miss having a
first
bike.
ride.
I don't even know what happened to mine.
What? You don't know what happened to yours? I don't know how to ride a bike, by the way. We should also state that because that
I was
really
about to
confounds
say,
people.
Because the last time we talked about bicycles, you talked about how you didn't know how to ride one.
Yeah.
But I assume you've learned or are learning.
No, you just buy a bike that doesn't move,
Right.
and then you don't know if you can pedal, then you're good.
So are you like Frank Underwood? You got the screen, you got the sweatsuit.
Yep.
Giving her on your
I
bike.
basically become Frank Underwood, believe
Good.
it or not.
Good.
I act presidential the entire time. I talk to my
So-
wife Claire while I'm biking. It's
Max, the next time you're late for a show, JP's gonna push you in front of a train. Just be aware that that's gonna happen.
I
to
put
you.
Berg and
Look
Max
out.
in the wrong place. Oh well, I fixed it. That's what happens when you got to do it when you're already live. Let's do that. Bump that up there. While I'm doing this, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to finally be here after my many, many weeks of just terrible luck.
Yeah, is your internet was also horribly sick, right? That was the other
Yeah.
thing.
I moved to a new house. I had like nonstop tech problems for a few days. And then once I finally got all that sorted out, I had my internet not working. And it's very complicated, but it turned out that the issue was not even something that I personally could have fixed. It had the only way that it was able to fix it was through a custom coded version of OBS that handles packets differently than
Were they
the
sending
regular.
you irregular shaped packets?
I don't know. I don't understand how it works. Gunrun fixed it. I don't know.
The
I mean,
amount of
that-
times I've
yeah.
heard that.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say.
I don't know how it works. Gun run.
That
fixed
sounds
it.
about right. Yeah, Gunrun's kind of a genius when it comes to that
Did he
stuff.
take over your computer or whatever?
Gunrun was streaming. Here's the kind of crazy person that Gunrun is. He was streaming on the E3 show floor at 720p 60 with 4 phones in this deck, all pulling the internet from the said 4 phones so that he could get enough bandwidth to stream at 720p 60.
I was supposed to do that, and then I got strep throat and couldn't leave my hotel room the entire E3 week that I was there.
Yeah. Well,
was
Gunrun's story was better. Yours is just sad.
Oh shit!
Don't get sick, Ann. That's your first mistake.
They messaged me and they were like, "Hey, do you want to do this thing?" And I was like, "Yes, that sounds great." And then I got there, I drove down to E3, and I just couldn't leave my hotel. It was terrible.
Yeah. That sounds like a great trip. Let's go to LA and just get sick, and then we'll come back home. That sounds like a great plan. Sounds like good times. You've been on. You've played some D&D before on West Marches, but you've only been on like 1 or 2 episodes of that, or you were on one or 2 episodes of that.
Yeah.
And I will say it's. I wouldn't say hardcore is the best word, but it's a little bit more mechanics focused on this show, which I think Adam's prepped you for somewhat. I think you've heard it enough from people watching the show that you're probably going to die. So just accept that.
The bar is set at, and I wish that I had like a number of minutes. But the bar is set at all you have to do is just survive longer than Day 9's first character, and then you'll be fine. Just don't die earlier than he did. And it was in the first. It was in the
He was
first.
in the
I think
second
it was part
hour.
3. Yeah, part
second
two
or third
part three
hour.
the second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
His character was especially cocky too, so it just was like totally
Wow.
karmic
Yeah.
unfoldings that happened to him.
good.
It was really good.
You should go watch watch the beginning of his character because he's like, oh, I made a character. This is great. Everyone loves it. And then watch the first round of combat because he's just like, okay, all right. And then we started rolling. We spent the last hour of that show rolling a new character for him. It was great. It was good stuff. And that turned out to be the king of the forest. So
Yeah, his next character was definitely it was worth disintegrating his first character because I don't know if we could have handled
That
8 episodes
voice
or
to
whatever
give you a
that-
snapshot of the way he talked and would have talked the entire time was, "Hi, my name's Zuaz. I'm a very impressive wizard."
yeah.
Like that's how he talked. It was like the Elcor from Mass Effect, but just like on a whole nother level.
But then can we play the sampling of the other character, Personagetron? Can we get a?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, sure. For Snitchatron, sure.
It was like
what
it
was
was
he?
like that nonstop. For just
Nonstop,
episode
yeah.
after
For like-
episode, yeah.
Hey, I
7
saw the clip
episodes.
of him. It's like something, and his neighbor like made a noise.
Yep.
That you guys hear on stream. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That was someone in the alley next to him, so it was good. It was good stuff. That was a fun time. That's the ad for Quarter Swords that we currently use. So
Yeah.
welcome to the show. I guess that's how we introduce Ed to the show. Dan, I want to talk to you because I saw you. I've seen you lose characters in D&D, and no emotion. Shrug it off. I watched you play Darkest Dungeon 2 days ago while you were fighting against let's
The
just say
Fanatic.
the Fanatic, yeah. And I don't think I've ever seen you as mad as you were in that particular moment. And you weren't playing it up as well. You were genuinely pissed off, and it was.
Oh, I was fucking livid. But yeah, basically, they're a very small indie team, so they can't really, they didn't have the time to play test too much. So this one boss fight that he did, it's just a wandering boss, so he can appear at any point in any dungeon.
Yeah.
And I was basically beta testing them for it. They were in chat watching as it was happening, and they were watching me get slaughtered by this boss because he just was. There's this fine line between being hard and then being unfair.
Yeah.
And it was just unfair. And he just destroyed all my high level characters. And I was so pissed because I had to like make new characters, level them up from resolve level 0 again. It just made me so mad. And 5 minutes after I had just got slaughtered when they were in chat, they released a patch that nerfs the fuck out of him.
Wow.
5 minutes later because
Yeah.
they were watching and they're like, okay, yeah, we're fixing that. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Well, at least you helped improve the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the angriest I've ever seen Dan, and then the quietest afterwards that I've ever seen Dan.
Yeah.
He went from like solid 5-10 minutes of rage to just like peacefulness and quiet rage.
No,
Yeah.
it's not
Doing-
peacefulness. It's just accepting
not
what
peacefulness.
happened.
Yeah. The stream was
when
peaceful.
when a small child's very upset and they're just sitting in the corner, it's like,
Yes.
that was me.
You know,
Just
or
like,
somebody was about to commit homicide, that kind of thing.
Yeah, plotting how I could poison
Yes.
them or
And that-
something. I don't know.
That arc of feelings, like, I mean, if you watch anybody play games like Darkest Dungeon or like Dark Souls 2, particularly if someone, you know, they go through the whole range of like anger, denial, bargaining, to acceptance, and some people are faster at it than others.
Yeah.
But like you can watch it happen over the course of a minute. Like someone lugging a bunch of souls back from a boss, they die, and then there's just this rainbow of horrible feelings.
Yep.
And it's nice to get to acceptance as fast as you can and just be like, okay,
Yeah.
that happened to me.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I will say one thing. They're very good devs. They're like watching all the Twitch streams and like patching it. Like there was like 10, 12 patches that day of like fixing stuff.
They must have
That's
been.
good.
Yeah, they must have been watching earlier because I had just like 3 or 4 perfect runs. Just nothing. I was at 0 stress when I left. I was full HP when it was just great. So they're
Might as well be
waiting.
called Lightest Dungeon.
Yeah, they're waiting for it to fucking turn it up and just completely fucking kill me. And I know that's coming. I've prepared myself after playing it 2 years ago and watching streams recently. Like, I'm gonna get fucked. I'm just
Yeah.
It's just how
That's
it's gonna
how
go.
that game goes. Like it's going great, and then all of a sudden you start getting bad RNG back to back to back, and then you lose characters, and it's just awful.
yeah. So Anyways, Max, you're moving. Your wins
I am.
soon. I know that.
I'm actually still in the living room right now because I'm in the process of cleaning out the shit from my office because it's so like dirt. Well, it's better now. I was up till like 2 or 3 last night.
Yeah.
Just trying to clean stuff out. We got a dumpster out front of our house, full of a bunch of like old boxes and things. Yeah, no, don't fuck around with that shit. We had like a couple Junk King place. I don't know. There's a place called Junk something like that that comes by and then, like we'll pick it up. You know what I mean? You set a time and date, but that's not ideal if you're like trying to, throw stuff out in the moment. You're like, well, now we got to wait for them to come haul this shit away. So you just get a dumpster. You might even have to do 2 dumpsters. I don't know. We haven't quite filled it up. It's hard to tell with a dumpster because it looks like you're filling it up a lot, but then you have to like, you stack vertically, and you have to kind of stack it even because otherwise they get mad at you and it throws off the weight load and all that. Yeah. But we're doing that. We already have the house in Chicago in the surrounding area suburb that we're in. And it's going well. I'm excited, also stressed, because that's always stressful. And then we have a trip in middle of July to the Philippines for a while. So that's, as a streamer, you're like, oh my God, what the fuck am I going to do? Yeah. I was, speaking of which, it's actually kind of funny that you were talking about Gunrun. I was talking to him about doing some sort of crazy, like, let's get an iPhone 6 something. We'll tether it to whatever the fuck. And then when you're in the Philippines using this Wi-Fi hotspot, you'll be able to do some just, IRL, streams.
I'm having the exact same conversation with Gunrun about when I go to Japan. He's like, oh, you're going to Japan? You want to stream some stuff? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, all right.
Japan's probably better suited for having, the internet available there. It's just a matter of getting like a SIM card and all that stuff. Yeah. I don't know as far as Philippines. If anybody's in the chat from the Philippines, let me know.
How's the internet in Manila?
What's your internet like?
Gunrun's actually been to the Philippines a ton and has streamed over there a ton, so you should definitely hit him up about that.
Yeah. I don't imagine that I'm going to be streaming like all the time, but, here and there, a couple hours every other day, might be okay to kind of...
I forgot who I was...
The damage.
It was like 3 or like 2 a.m. the other night, and I couldn't go to sleep, and I just turned on... For the first time ever, I turned on Twitch IRL streams, and someone was in Korea live streaming, just walking around in a mall or something, and I was glued to the fucking screen for some reason. I just couldn't stop watching because the person didn't speak Korean, so he's just walking around and like pointing to things and then trying to like the language barrier was real, and they were trying to figure out how to communicate with one another, and that was pretty exciting to watch. You should do that if you go to the Philippines. Just go to a market and just show people shit. You can't really see that. Yeah.
Show people shit?
Yeah, just fucking walk around the market and be like, hey, this is what you buy in a super... Like, I don't know what a supermarket looks like in the Philippines. It probably looks like a normal supermarket, but everything's different.
Yeah. That's probably what... Yeah, I was just getting... I mean, it's all foreign and new to me. It's part of the reason. I'm, like, really excited for the trip. It's, like, a little bit lengthier than what I would have liked, but I didn't realize... Because it's like my brother's wife. Her side of the family, they're all Filipino, and they do a trip every 4 years to go back. It's pretty common. Like, they make a big trip, to go back, and they bring stuff from the United States and all that stuff. But they hang out, and they do, like, reunion kind of stuff with their family. So they do it every 4 years, and they invited me and Amanda to come. And I said yes, but I didn't realize it was 2 weeks. And since everything's all paid for and stuff, I'm just like, oh, shit.
2 weeks in the Philippines sounds kind of nice. So I'll have fun with that.
It's going to be fun. I'm going to try my best to, like, just shut off the side of my brain that's like, you're not streaming. What the fuck? You're not on your home setup? You're not,
Yeah, that'll go away.
Try to enjoy it.
That'll probably take like a week to get out of there. Then you'll be fine, I think.
Yeah. I'm also going to, like, document it. I'm going to try to get some really cool shots. I got a drone, so I'm going to get some sweeping shots of...
Oh, what drone did you get?
Anthony Bourdain on this shit.
What type of drone did you get?
Yeah. It's the Mavic Pro.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the new one that like kind of folds up.
Yeah,
newish.
Yeah.
It's been out for like a year or two or something like that.
Yeah, I think DJI just I don't know if it's out yet, but they have one that you could fold up as well that has like a 4K camera on it that I was looking at. I don't need a fucking drone. I don't even go outside. I'd have it sit outside my window and film me. That's the entire use of it. But it would be fucking cool, I guess.
I got it for
like the people on bikes, and they're like, your drone can follow you.
That's what this one does, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
And there's like people like biking through like the like highlands of Norway or some shit, and I'm just like, that's so cool. Oh my God, I totally need a drone. And I'm just like, I don't even own a
hold on. Bike. And what if we got drones to watch us as we bike on our stationary bikes, and then we stream that drone footage?
You don't even need the drone for that. You can just put a webcam.
But what if you had a drone?
The drones
doing
move
it?
around.
But the drone moves around and it has a gimbal, and you
Yeah.
can get sweeping shots.
Sweeping shots of me in this like tiny room with a stationary bike. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's great. Perfect.
It's really
Stationary-
cool, like
stationary
tech
bike
that it
tours.
can do that.
yeah. What I would do, I have a window right next here. If someone rang the doorbell, I'd send the drone. I'd just throw the drone out like I'm Batman or some shit, and then have it go over to the front door, and have it talk to whatever it is.
I don't want to burst your bubble here, JP, but Batman has a butler to answer the door for him. So
Yeah, but if he didn't, he'd have a drone. He
Not
would have a
New
drone.
Age Batman. He got rid of Alfred. It's now
Oh, really?
it's now just a drone called Alfie.
of course.
I thought you were being serious. I was interested, but it's like, wait, they killed off Alfred. What is he? doing?
Resident expert on Batman things.
Yeah, yeah. We need Pocket here. Dan, you're moving. You have been moving, right? Are you almost done?
Everybody's
Yeah,
moving.
we're gonna be moving. I'm moving into an apartment. Yeah, I got to move all my crap. I have a week left. Just
Pressure's
it's not
on.
a lot of stuff. I'm going from a house to an apartment, so I've got to throw a bunch of stuff away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I got to hire a junk guy to be like, take all this stuff in this garage and just get rid of it. Thank you.
Throw it all away. Anything I can say about moving, I'm sure you've probably moved a bunch, but anything that I've ever learned from moving is just be okay with letting things go. Just
Yeah, I'm a minimalist, anyways. I don't like
Yeah.
having lots of stuff.
I think
So,
me and
like-
Dan are that. Like, I have a big house with nothing in it, and that's how it's always been. And I don't think I'll ever have like surplus crap.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. I don't know. Moving sucks though. I have to move again in 8 months.
It's amazing how much crap a place can build up in 2 years.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
it is. It is for sure. Adam, you're not moving soon, are you?
No, dude. Not if
Okay.
I can help it.
You're going
I'm
to
very
Japan
happy-
though
very
for a
happy
month.
with it.
That's kind of
Yeah.
like moving.
Yeah, well, I'm going for two and a bit weeks, like 2 weeks and a couple of days, and then I'm home for a day, and then it's Gen Con. So it's going to be weird going from somewhere cool and exciting like Sapporo to somewhere less so, like Indianapolis. But it is the 50th anniversary, so it's going to be a big Gen Con this year.
look at Anne.
Oh God, I've been to Indianapolis. It's terrible.
It's a great city.
I've
Oh.
said this before. I say it pretty much every summer. The only reason that I can think of to go to Indianapolis, and I'm so sorry, Indiana, but the only reason to go there is Gen Con. If it was moved elsewhere, I would never go to Indianapolis ever again. Ever.
When is it?
It's August. It's the
It's
middle
August?
to end of August. I know.
Oh,
I know.
humid and hot. Ugh.
Yeah, it's gross. It's so gross. I'm
Nice.
sure the rest of Indiana is scenic and beautiful. I'm sure Gary is great, but like
No,
I
it's
just
not.
I don't dig it. I don't
No, it's
dig
not.
on it.
Indiana sucks. All of Indiana pretty much sucks.
Yeah.
I lived in Chicago in the area, and I've seen all that stuff. Just go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin has more going on than Indiana.
The thing I think the thing is that I'm spoiled, right? Because I'm coming from Vancouver, which is like very kind of like clean and naturey and right by the ocean, and there's lots of like plants, and it's nice and cool here most of the time. And then summer in India, yeah, it's not going to be. But you know, it's fine. I'll be just like hella jet lag coming back from Japan, so that'll make it. I'll be in a weird game trance the whole weekend.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
could always
but
go
it
to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Have some fun there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that I'm into doing.
The
Yep.
thing that sucks about I know some things about that. They don't let you drive on that track because apparently that track is like too much of a quote holy ground for NASCAR fans. They won't let you drive on it, but you can go to Talladega and drive on that if you want, as long as race season's not on.
You go to Germany and drive on the Nürburgring.
Yeah,
Where
Think
every
about it.
company tests their car and says it's Nürburgring tested.
they just like
And then-
saying that name though.
Yeah. What's funny is that a lot of people develop their cars there, but then they. Oh shit! You're talking. I didn't hear. Skype does that stupid thing
Well,
where like
yeah, for
prioritizes
some reason-
one person and it.
Yeah. I don't know why that is. I think just how the audio is routed on the
Yeah.
inside. If we talk over her, we can just drown her out. We don't hear her at all. So
Yeah,
for the
I
rest of
didn't
the
hear her.
episode,
I didn't realize she was talking until I looked at the thing and then saw her talking. I'm sorry, Ann. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Poignant social commentary from the Roleplay pre-show.
yes, exactly.
That is the problem with me on every roleplay show that I've been on. People say that I'm too talkative. That's
Wait, really?
always
They did a study. They did a study about
didn't know
this where people when they'll show like footage of a conversation or like a panel or whatever, and then they'll ask people to determine what percentage of the time the woman in the conversation was talking, and they over-report it by like 40 to 50% every time.
Really?
Right? Yeah, every time.
That makes sense.
Just no matter what. Like people are like, I don't know. I think she talked about like 40% of the time, and they're like, nope, 12. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. It's shocking. Like reading it, it's just like, wow.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
But in Anne's case, it's an actual thing. For whatever reason, the technology even if she's mid sentence, we'll say something and it'll just completely mute her.
Drums, yeah. But it makes me feel like shit too, because everyone else watching is just like, wow, what a fucking dick. He's just talking right over Anne. I'm like, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get better at it as the episodes go on. But yeah, if you can, go drive it. If you just have the option at life, go drive on one of the fucking speedways. It's fun. You can drive a stock car, and they go really fast. That's great, and there's no rules.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, JP, how are you enjoying your new headphones?
Oh yeah, they're pretty. That's right.
Oh yeah,
that's right. I bought these on the last episode. Man, what a crazy 2 weeks. Yeah, they're pretty good. I didn't get the replacement headphones, or the head.
The pads.
Yeah, the pads. Yeah. But they're super comfortable.
Those look pretty good. They don't look like they're the pleather kind of,
The other ones are. Yeah, the other ones have the like.
You can buy different ones that are pleather. But then I don't want like leather. It feels like it would sweat.
Leather is the opposite of what's good.
Yeah. But you get better bass, apparently. The audiophiles say you get better bass because it contains the sound better.
Yeah, true. But then my ears feel like shit because I have these on for a really extended period of time, and I'd rather just not. So
I also bought a pair of those headphones after we talked about it.
Oh really?
Yeah, I have been enjoying them.
You're not wearing them though.
No, so this is the thing. I'm gonna keep using these as my stream ones because the other ones, while comfortable, my head is much smaller than yours. It's hard to tell, but my head is much smaller than yours, and they're enormous. They're amazing. They're such good headphones. But the open design, it would drive me crazy being able to hear things in the room, and they make my head look tiny. But I've been going back and listening to like old albums that I haven't listened to in a long time, and the soundstage in those headphones is crazy.
Yeah,
like. Take a minute, like pick a song you know really well, and like listen to it in a quiet room, and like
I've noticed that in.
I'm so impressed.
I've noticed that in games that I play. Like I'll walk into a room in a game, and like you're saying, the sound I can recognize that is over there in the room, but that is right next to me in the room. Like the audio is really really clear like that. I'm not pumping it through an amp or anything. It is on a headphone amp, but it's not a true headphone amp. It's like a rack amp.
I got a little portable headphone amp for mine, and it does help. They're a little. I mean, these headphones are like that too. They're by nature pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So giving them a little more power definitely helps.
Yeah, these are pretty good though. The Twitter account for Hi-Fi is really weird. They people tweet things at them and they like shit on them. They'll just like fucking. It's like Wendy's, but on steroids. They just fucking destroy these people. And I was just like, what? Like, is this an official account or what the hell's going on? Like, I tweeted, I was like, hey, these headphones sound great, and I tagged them. And they're like, yeah, you should try buying these. And it was like their $2,000 headset. I'm like, what? What the fuck kind of tweet is that from an official account?
That's kind of great.
Yeah.
You think those are good? Spend another $1,500 and then we'll talk, asshole.
Yeah, they have the wood made or the wooden headphones that you could buy from for $2,000, which I just want to hear those once. I don't want to own those necessarily, just to hear why it's better.
Well, there's usually places like there are a few of them in Vancouver where you can go and they're like headphone bars essentially where they just sell high-end headphones and you can go and like listen to
sounds so hipster.
$3,000 ones. Well, I mean that's all they sell, so it's kind of got to be like a little bit of a boutique experience, right? Where like. Huh. It's all like nice, and they've just got like a bar of headphones, and I went.
Is it also an oxygen bar at the same time?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, it's not like you're paying to hang out and listen to the headphones. It's just so that you'll buy them.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It's like
because like why you wouldn't I mean like most people wouldn't spend $2,000 on a pair of headphones they've never put on their head before.
True.
Yeah. But I find I was doing some headphone testing when I first got them. There's a bunch of websites you can go to and you can listen to samples, and they'll have like a stereo sweep and everything to test it. And I was listening to one, and it was like the high range. So it was like it starts really high pitched and then lowers slightly, and you're supposed to be able to hear it at a certain point.
Right.
And then there's a warning underneath that's like, keep in mind that after a certain point, it's probably not the headphones. It might be your ears. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting old. Damn.
Yeah.
If you can't hear it at this level, either your headphones are bad or you might be getting old.
Me and
That's something that terrifies me.
Who was it? Yeah, I think it was me and Co. We're having a conversation before an episode of Drop Frames about how all streamers will eventually just have terrible hearing. Because
Probably,
we fucking all keep our audio so loud in our headsets, and we wear headsets or headphones like probably 60 hours a week at most,
Yeah.
or at least. So we're all just going to be fucking deaf and screaming at each other when we're like 60 plus.
I try to be conscious of having it too loud. I think I have it at a pretty good like medium now, like pretty good level where it's not. I used to have it extra loud. I'm like, yeah, more loud is it? I'm gonna game better and I'm gonna hear everything. And then you realize like, oh shit, if I do that for a long time, it's just really gonna fuck everything up.
Yeah.
And I really pride myself being able to hear properly, so I'm trying to like just get rid of like extend that.
I've got a shitty start because of my teenage years going to too many like punk and metal shows and not caring about wearing earplugs. And now I'm like, oh yeah, that was a bad move. Good job, teenage Adam.
That makes
dummy.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah, hopefully in like 10 or 15 years, we'll just have cybernetic ears. We can just get some ear replacements. Be great.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Get them on Amazon.
Yeah, I thought when I was losing hearing in my right ear like a week or so ago, before I knew it was stress related, I was like, well, I'm actually going deaf. Like this, it's happening now. I will lose all hearing in my right ear.
You can lose your hearing from stress?
Yeah, it's called tinnitus.
Stress will do all kinds of fucked up shit to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So have you ever what's the bet? Have you ever like been able to tense your ear and it sounds like you're holding a shell up to it and you can like hear the ocean?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
It's
I guess
that
makes sense.
but it's nonstop and you're not like your ear is just constantly tense from stress because of the muscles in your neck. So now I'm gonna get addicted to muscle relaxers that I take every night and it's gonna fix the problem. But then I'll be addicted to muscle relaxers. So it's a give and
But
take.
then they'll have a pill to get you not addicted to muscle relaxers, and you'll get addicted to that.
Exactly. But I have been sleeping better, so that's nice. Just very easy.
We're all getting older. We're all going to die eventually. Let's play D&D.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we can all just die right now.
And while we're still alive.
Yeah. I mean, at least we've got that. We've got our youth. Let's use it on important things like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
This world is real, Adam. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, speaking of threats to your life, I want to rewind from the horrible conflagration that you started. While that was happening, while the three of you were fighting horrible tree monsters in the garden of weird castle terror house,
Bloodborne.
Yeah, exactly. The this same house has been under some surveillance by a gang of young ne'er-do-wells. So your character, Anne, we talked a little bit about this, and we'll come to learn your character's background and stuff a bit more as we go on. But you and some friends of yours have been casing a noble house for some days now, as a target for burglary. You've got a couple of your other friends, your halfling friends with you, and you've been getting an idea of the security of this place. It's known by the folk in the neighborhood as the House of the Falcon. It's a place where a human noble lives, supposedly alone, which makes it a good target. It's a bit isolated, also a good target, and the City Watch tends to ignore it for the most part. So you and your friends have decided to case the joint with the plan to rob it. But I'm curious to see how all of that goes, and I've got a roll I want you to make. Okay. So you and your gang, you and your friends have been casing the House of the Falcon for several days now, looking for an opportunity to rob the joint. Let's see how it's been going. Can you roll 2d6 and add 1? And I'll tell you what to do from there. Okay, got a 7. Excellent. All right, so choose one of these 3 things. I'm gonna give you 3 options. You pick one. So either you know a secret way in and out, you know how to disable the vault in the House of the Falcon's magical lock, or all this snooping around hasn't attracted any undue attention. Which of these 3 things would you like to choose?
The second one.
The magic lock?
Yes. I will find my way out and fight or kill what I have to, but the magic lock that sounds difficult. So.
Okay, good. So, how did you learn the incantation to disable the lock? Like, where'd you get that from? Did someone tell you? Did you buy it?
I'm friends with a halfling wizard.
Ah, nice. Okay, cool. And did the wizard? How did they tell you how they came by it, or is it just something that they're like, you just trust them and they assured you that it works?
Yep. Yeah, I don't ask a lot of questions.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the owner of this house, the noble lord, he has a reputation for being kind of a bastard, which is maybe why you targeted him. He's a human. You don't know much about his personal history, but his family is known for in the past, like, for slaving, basically. His name is Vanya Hikari. And he is the sole inhabitant of the House of the Falcon. He recently did something, like he did a bad turn by the halflings in your community in the around the station where you live. What was it? What did he do to like betray them?
He was gonna sign a contract with us for more land, and then went back on it.
Okay.
Cheated us out of a deal.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So maybe you'll have your opportunity to counter screw this guy and get back what's yours. He's supposed to be quite rich. All right. So you and your 3 friends. Let's detail who you're working with on this job. You have 3 friends: Bug, Marlo, and Lena. One of them is a skilled burglar. One of them is a bit unstable, but useful despite that. And the other is, frankly, a liability. Which is which?
Bug the burglar, because I like alliteration.
Okay. All right. So Bug is a skilled burglar.
Mm-hmm. Lena, and then what was the other name?
Marlo, Lena, and Bug.
Okay, Marlo's the unstable one.
A useful thug. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that makes Lena. So why is Lena a liability, and why do you have her along?
She is very interested in adventure. Like, she really wants to go and be like an adventurer. So she kind of like looks up to you. Okay. She's not actually experienced or anything.
Right. So she kind of considers herself your apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So one thing that you've come to know about the House of the Falcon is that it seems like it's only kind of like awake at night. You only ever see smoke coming from the chimney during the dark hours. You only ever see people in the windows at night. But during the day, it's shut up like a tomb. So, inverting the usual, you're going to make your move during the day, and you and Bug, after some deliberation, decided that the best way to approach the house, because it's surrounded by a kind of like an open lawn in many places. There's some sort of statuary. It's got its own little lake, but you can get from the edge of the wall. If you scale the wall, jump over it, you can cross to the house by way of an overgrown, used to be like a garden or a little like forest, but it's all overgrown now, and it gives you cover both from anyone who might be watching from the street if they look through the gate, and anyone in the house. So you can sneak through this forest and make your way to. You can make your way to the house. So you and your friends are skulking through the woods when you hear all of a sudden. A terrible sound. Now, I don't think I don't think you've ever heard an explosion necessarily before, right? Like, it's not the kind of thing that a person in a medieval society would have been exposed to.
Whatever could you be talking about, Adam?
So there's a sound that maybe for you, it's reminiscent of a sudden peal of thunder, but condensed. It's brief. There's a crack of thunder, and a wave of heat suddenly, and a bright flash off to one side. Lena squeaks in fear. Bug grabs her to get her to like be quiet, and Marlowe looks to you, and the group of you can see through the trees. There's the sudden like light of a fire in the distance. What do you do?
I look at everyone and I just say, a useful distraction will stay on mission, because I don't want to, whatever that is going on over there, it's going to distract people from us sneaking into this house.
Lena looks a little frightened. I mean, she always looks a little frightened, but she turns to you, and she's got these big green eyes. She does a lot of her work pretending to be a human child and then like robbing people when they underestimate her. She's got kind of like a baby face, and she looks at you with these big like scared eyes, and she's like, but Jiva, if we go to the house now, whatever caused the fire will be behind us, and then how do we get out? And she like peers through the trees, and you could see something like moving in the distance.
I told you that if you were afraid, you shouldn't come along. Get it together, or go home.
Yeah, she scowls, and you can see her kind of like, stick her courage, and it's like, fine, all right. And and Marlowe sneers at her. They've had several arguments, and maybe you've had an argument or two with Marlowe about like we should leave her behind, like we shouldn't give her the option to come along. But you're having this very brief conversation. Meanwhile, at the source of the sudden flame, Berg, Ramus, and Enoch, what are you going to do? The strange cursed tree creatures. They've been dispatched, but
they're dead as fuck because we killed them.
They're very dead. Yep,
that's true. They are.
But
dead.
Focus on the positive before we,
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna go and loot those bolts up, Adam. They're not on fire or anything. I can spend some time to loot them. Easy, get 6 back.
I mean, if you wanna spend the time picking them up, sure. But the fire is spreading, right? I think we see one of the trees is kind of tipped over, and the fire is burning through the dry grass. Do you want to stay and retrieve your bolts, or do you want to get the hell out of here?
What are the other two doing?
Ramus and Berg. Yeah, Ramus and Berg. Do you have an opinion?
How quickly is this fire spreading? I guess is the question.
This fire so big that like we have no real chance of putting it out. There's a stream next to us, but
I was gonna say there's a stream, right? We just used the stream.
The problem is, the sudden intense heat, and the fact that it's like summer basically, and like the grass is long and unkept, and everything is overgrown. So there's a lot of like dead trees, and it's gonna get worse before it gets better. If you have magic, like if you could summon a storm or something, maybe, but not so much. Basically, your magic tricks all involve making more fire, so.
I take out my scroll of summon storm, and it's not Skyrim. It's not even a thing in Skyrim, I don't think. Honestly, it's hard to remember that. It's very easy to forget, rather, that the grass is so long, because on the map, it looks so like trimmed and proper.
It looks pretty trimmed, but
we're out in kind of the boons of the grounds.
Yeah,
trying to get to.
Yeah, it's all overgrown and stuff. Yeah. If the fire becomes a huge problem, I guess, because weren't we heading north towards?
You were going into the garden further. Looking for Enoch's missing servant. Something snapped up.
Right.
The servant. Yeah.
If we need to get the fuck out of Dodge, I say we use that river, because the water's gonna at least stop the flames from the shores there. But depending on how big they get, in terms of like height and if there's like wind whipping around, I don't know.
Yeah,
that would be my escape plan.
You can make. I mean, if you want to take a second, you can make a survival check to like judge based on the wind and like. You've been around wilderness before,
right.
So.
This is not Berg's first forest fire that he may or may not have had an involvement in.
Yeah, sure.
We'll say.
Berg actually
All right,
just killed Smokey the Bear, believe it or not. He was there.
Yeah. Yeah. He came up to me
and
and
too strong. The tower wanted him dead.
Everything has to end at some point.
Yeah.
Survival, you said, yeah?
Yes, please.
Cool.
Oh,
Hey!
yeah, 19. Okay. So the fire, it looks like if the wind holds, a big chunk of the garden will burn, but that the wind is pushing it away from the house and away from the direction you're heading. You don't want to hang out here forever. Eventually, it'll burn itself out, but the river will probably cut it off. It probably won't spread to the other side of the river.
Okay. I guess Berg informs them of this, lets them know, in his best way. Wind, river, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. For the interest of time, I'm not RPing it out, but I think we just push forward since the wind is on our side.
Okay, and just make your way.
What Berg would be saying, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. So we get the shot of both groups kind of like looking at each other, like we have to push on, and then heading out. And I think that as you're all kind of like moving through the garden, the fire behind you continues to spread. Eventually it'll draw the attention of the city. Like, I don't know, like whoever does firefighting in the city, they'll notice it. But it may provide some cover for both of your illicit operations.
Maybe it'll burn that old lady if she's alive already.
That's true.
And
her stupid birds.
I think that the groups of you, we see you both approaching from a different angle, the same space. So you partway through the garden, and you, Shiva, you know about this. Partway through the garden, there's a stone fountain, and it was a place you're gonna stop along the way and then continue through the garden. And so we see this fountain. It's a big stone sort of plaza with 4 circular kind of seashell shaped basins, and it's got hedges around it, and then a statue in the center. The water in the fountain has kind of like scummed over. It hasn't been cleaned in some time. The statue is of some noble-looking sort of soldier. He's like saluting or like looking out over the horizon, but up to his waist, he's covered in the same sort of algae, and there's like sort of vines hanging off the statue. And I think that the group of you approach the fountain, the fountain plaza from opposite sides. So you come out of the woods, and you can see across the plaza. You can see each other. So let me grab the tokens and everything. But while I'm doing that, can you, for everybody's sake, describe your characters? Describe what everybody sees.
Max, go first.
Anybody can go first. Max, why don't you start?
Describing Berg? Yeah.
Tell us what Berg looks like.
Sometimes I forget what Berg looks like. He's changed so much. No, you see a 7'1" half orc who has one tusk that's half like broken. It's like, the other one's perfectly normal and pointing. The other one's just broken off like some sort of combat. If you have the sight for it, you can see a little bit of a branded X across the chest that might be poking out from the inside of his tunic. He's brandishing a giant warhammer that looks like it's like ancient and has some history behind it. Beyond that, I don't really. I think he's got a ponytail of like kind of black, got like a man bun, an orc bun, if you will, of black hair that goes back. His skin color is an olive, sort of greenish color, and complexion would be weathered, seen battle. Looks like he's been through some shit. With a face of determination and trying to get through this shit and get out, so that way the flames don't take him and his party. And he's looking around and looking straight ahead, I guess, if he's noticed, with curiosity.
Cool. Let's get an update on Ramus. What does Ramus look like, Dan?
Ramus is rather tall human. He's wearing a black cloak over his head most of the time. But it's down now because it's very hot. He's wearing kind of a nice breastplate with this a tower symbol on it, and rather dark clothing. I kind of imagine him as sort of looking like Arthas from the Fallen Arthas in Warcraft 3, kind of like a dark character, but pitch black hair instead of the white hair that Arthas had. But yeah, he's kind of pale, but always very like proper, and he's very well mannered. Like he just walks with elegance, and no matter where he is.
Very well. Hold on, what the fuck character are you playing?
Like well mannered physically.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks like he looks like he has
really good manners.
Yeah.
Wait till he opens his mouth.
Goddamn mouth.
Also, I forgot. Berg has a little streak of gray in it. Aha! He's old man Berg.
He's old Berg now.
Yeah, old man Berg. Yeah, exactly. Enoch looks like Zaphod Breeblebox from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Sam Rockwell's version of it. He's got I think we determined he's got a cloak on, he's got a breastplate on, and in one hand he's got a crossbow, and in his other hand there's nothing because Adam wouldn't let him have a shield. So
I wouldn't let it.
In the other hand, there's
that's
nothing.
how it worked. That's exactly
that's how it works.
That's a true statement.
Yeah. And I'm kind of head on a swivel as Berg's leading us into this. I'm probably panicked more so than the other two. They don't really care too much, but I'm worried about my servants, my friends. Servants first, friends second, I guess. Or friends first, servants
You said
second.
servants first.
I did.
Berg noticed that in the top left. You see, Berg noticed that.
Nope. I misspoke.
Okay. So, So I guess across the plaza, you see a group of halflings led by Anne's character. And can you describe Shiva for us?
Yeah. So she's kind of clad in lots of leather with like gauntlets and obviously kind of like an armored halfling with also a cloak that is up right now. Long brown hair that's like in a plaited braid over her shoulder. I've got my two short swords like drawn and kind of at the ready because I've noticed that there's people across the fountain that I wasn't expecting to see.
Cool. And then behind her, there are three other halflings, a woman and two men, attired similarly. They look like they're either adventurers or robbers. They look like they're ready to cause some trouble. And the tougher of the four of them, there's one that he's holding a sword. He has a sneer on his face. He takes a step forward, almost to like shield the other three. And there's a sort of a tense moment as you glimpse each other across the path. What does everybody do?
Did you say there is a human across the way, or are they all halflings?
They're all halflings. Yeah.
Well, after I'm looking behind, I turn around, I see them. I kind of say to the group, "Hey, are these guys in front of the building the other day? I thought you got rid of them, Berg."
Guys in front of the building.
You know, when we burned down the old inn. Or not burned it down. They were going to burn it down.
Berg looks at him and sees that they aren't. He goes, no.
Berg can tell one halfling apart from another, yes.
No. These are different little ones.
Well, don't call them little ones. They might be offended by that.
Why not? People call me a gigantic freak. I'm not allowed to say little one.
All right, new rule. When we meet people, Ramus, you don't talk. Berg, you don't talk. I'll do the talking. But if they have my friends,
whatever.
We're going to go talk to them.
Very well.
Now, you go first, Berg. And I kind of like squint as I say that.
Berg says,
after you, Your Majesty.
Yeah, y'all are a good distance from one another. There's like 200 feet between you, but you're going in like you have to cross each other basically to continue where you're going. Marlo looks at you, Jiva, and he's like, it's like these don't look like security.
They're not security. I don't know who they are.
And you can tell he always wants to get in a fight, but you can tell that he's like, well, fine, let's just kill him and move on. He doesn't say it, but you're the boss of this operation. Lena is looking a little frightened, and Bug peers out from under his like hood at you, and he's like, "This is your job. What do you want to do?"
Let's see what they want first, and if we need to, be ready to fight.
Yeah, Marlo grins at that. And and I guess the group of you stay there while they approach, or like how close do you guys get?
Are we going by what's on the map? Terms of so what are we? 160 feet. I could yell at someone 160 feet away. I get up to probably like right here. How tall is this statue? Can we see plainly across it?
Yeah. You can look like it's sort of in the way, but
okay.
Big ass fountain, by the way.
Yeah,
it's huge, eh?
As long as we can see them, and they can see us, I'll shout across the way. We wish you no harm, but if you have our friends, I wish to parlay.
Marlo.
We don't have your friends.
Yeah, Marlo's like, they're friends. What the hell?
I need proof of that.
I don't have any funny parts to give you. That should be proof enough.
I turn around. How can I prove they don't have my friends?
I don't know.
What would a bunch of halflings want with your stupid servants?
I don't know. Maybe they're pissed off at people.
And how would these little dudes drag their bodies if they had killed them? Look how little they are.
He gets to say little dudes.
So yeah, I think unless you're like actively shouting these little side conversations, you can't hear them. Yeah. And Marlo says to you, Gervais, like, does he look like a noble to you? He looks like a noble to me. Oh, I hate nobles. It's a noble and his priest and his war slave. He's probably got gems on him and jewelry. We got time. We should rob these fools.
I heard his Prius. He's a noble with his Prius.
I
thought it was funny.
I turn around after our side conversation. I believe you don't have our friends, but what are you doing here?
We work here.
Yeah,
lies.
I was gonna say the one next to her, the one with the sword. He shouts out. He's like, "Yeah, we're gardeners."
Gardeners with weapons?
Yeah. Exactly.
Is that your shearing knife over there? That's quite a lie, young sir.
He takes a couple of like half-hearted swings at the shrubbery next to him. He's like, "Yeah, it's a topiary," and he like pokes it.
Who are you?
I think Berg at this point yells back,
"I'm a priest. Can't you tell?"
Berg, now that is just insulting. How dare you?
I turn.
If they're going to lie,
you don't have the training or the.
You ask why after the side conversation. We were sent here to talk to the keeper of the grounds. We spoke with her. We're looking for our friends as they've gone missing. We're not doing anything wrong.
They kind of like look at each other like, "No, we're not doing anything wrong either." Marlo, he looks over at you. You're like, "See, I can."
Can I make an insight check to see if I'm being lied to?
I mean, if you feel like you need to make that check, yes, you can do so.
Adam,
I
have a 10 intelligence. Okay, I probably need to make that check.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they might be good gardeners, I guess. It doesn't look like they're doing their job if they are, because this whole place is like incredibly overrun.
Okay. I assume you're on break. Would you mind if we joined you?
They are not gardeners, you idiot.
Surely they're gardeners. Look, they have their gardening tools and everything.
Look at how they're dressed and armed. They are not here to. They're here to do something that's not gardening.
It's hot outside. I'd wear a cloak if I had to work outside and block the sun.
Look at this place. It hasn't been guarded in years.
And they say I'm dumb.
Bug says to you, Jiva, he kind of shrugs. He's like, I mean, we could get a closer look at them. They look dangerous to me, and I don't want them behind me. But if we can I don't know, send them in the other direction, or at least figure out what they're doing here. I don't feel comfortable having them wandering around in the garden while we're on our way to the house.
I do wish to ask you some questions. Can we come closer?
I kind of like turn to Bug and I'm just like, that's a good point. And I yell across the fountain, closer, but not too close. It's a big man you've got with you.
I turn he's fine. He won't hurt you at all. He's got to get close anyways. He doesn't, can't throw anything. He doesn't have a cross. I'll meet you in the middle. And I turn around.
Why would you say that?
Well, I mean, it's reassuring if you know you can't be attacked unless he's close, then.
We don't know if we can trust them.
I think they're gardeners.
So you start to move, like you want to meet kind of closer, like in the middle over here somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I start making my way down there. I don't have my weapon drawn, but it's still in my hand.
Yeah, I follow along.
Okay.
Weapon's not in the hand, but it's it's at the ready.
Okay. And you should be able to move your token, the one that we're using for you. So feel free to place yourself. Marlo will follow you.
What a nice place to meet.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't like the statue is made out of like fine marble, and the cobbles here, if they were better kept, it'd be really nice. Like there's little like bench places you can sit on the lip of the fountain. It'd be a great place to like sit and read a book if you hadn't,
if you could read.
Gone to shit. Did we ever establish if Berg could read or not?
Berg can read, but
like
it takes him a little bit longer. He doesn't like to. Yeah, he can't like read like everybody else. It takes him a little while.
Sounds out the words.
Yeah.
And,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every now and then he gets a word that trips him up.
Yeah.
Okay. So so you approach. I guess Marlo actually like walks a little bit ahead of you because he's trying to be tough and show off for you. The gardener and the other halflings all approach. The two at the back, the darker skinned halfling and the woman, they look like they're hanging back a little bit, like they're nervous or shy or something. But the other two halflings approach the three of you.
Okay. Once we get in range, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Enoch. This is Berg, and I point to the big orc, and that back there is Ramus.
So do you you come forward and like put your hand out to shake hands?
No, I think we're keeping this distance between us.
Okay, all right, sure.
I'm not shaking hands, but I'm introducing who we are at least. And what are your names?
Yeah, so you start to talk, and as he often does, Marlo kind of like steps in before you get to like say anything. You take a breath to speak, and Marlo's like, "Well, I'm none of your business, and this is my friend. Stop being so fucking nosy." And he like stares at you. He's like, "You don't need to know our names."
You halflings have some weird names.
Ramus, what did we say about the quietness, please?
I'll pray over here. Sorry.
All right, yes, please continue praying. It is just a formality, young sire. I wish to know your name so that we may potentially become friends.
Yeah, and he sneers when you say that, and he's like, "I'm not friends with." There's probably some kind of halfling racial slur for humans, and he uses that. No one else speaks halfling, but this is a filthy thing to call a person. So Marlo's like, "Yeah, I'm not friends with," and then this like word in halfling.
What is you there? And I point towards Miss Tarkus. What does that mean? I don't know that word.
It's another word for human.
Oh, okay. Well,
sounded mean.
I mean, I'll let it pass. We'll let it pass, Berg. It's fine. Put your weapon down. I kind of put my arm out and keep him calm.
I will go along with that. And Berg, when he said that, he like went to go grip his weapon.
Yeah, I lowered my weapon and say, we lost some friends here on the grounds. Have you been working long? I look around. Surely you just got on the job. These bushes haven't been trimmed in quite some time.
Yeah, he says, well, you know what they say, big garden, small gardeners. It's going to take a long time. We just got started today.
Well, that makes sense. Have you seen? I describe the. I guess I'll describe him. Have you seen my friends? They answered to Lamech, Idris, and Naba. They look like me, human folk. Maybe dressed a little bit more commonly.
Servant-y like.
No, they're friends. Friends of mine.
Yeah, when you say that, Marlowe looks at Berg and then looks at you. He's like, "Oh, did you lose the rest of your slaves, human?"
Slaves? We don't own slaves in my house, young one.
And he looks at Berg again. He's like, "How strange, because here we are."
Watch
well,
your tongue, little man.
I'd be very careful with that, but actually I'm working for him, believe it or not. I kind of just wait to see how he responds to that.
And Berg takes his weapon out and goes,
"A slave does not brandish a weapon of destruction like this."
So when Berg takes the hammer and holds it up, Shiva, something about it, you get a powerful sense of not deja vu exactly and not vertigo, but somewhere in between those two things, where you feel like dizzy and like something about this scene, like the way the light is reflecting off the surface of the hammer, something about the smell of the water, and you feel yourself get a little bit faint. You feel like you get a little dizzy.
Okay.
What do you do? Do you say anything? Do you try to like hide it? Do you sit down? Like,
do I need to do like a check to see how much it affects me?
I'll leave it up to you. I'll let you decide. I want to see how you react.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it be like kind of obvious. So like I kind of like take a half step back and like break away from the conversation. Maybe I like kind of rest my hand on the fountain, the edge, to kind of steady.
When was the last time? I'm going to ask this question and then we'll take a break after I get your answer. But when was the last time that the angel visited you? Has it happened more than the once, or was that the last time?
It's happened more than once.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's the feeling. Like you suddenly can place it, right? The initial rush clears. You put your hand on the fountain and you realize where the last time you felt this was. And then all of you, everyone in the square, you all suddenly have that feeling spreads to you, and so a chill or a hush kind of falls over as everybody looks at each other like, do you feel that? And you all feel this sudden like powerful like vertigo sense almost, and I think that's when there's a bright flash of light, and we'll see what else happens when we get
Someone
back.
just solar flare our asses? What happened?
Yeah, there's a bright flash. There's a bright flash.
There's a bald man with dots on his butt.
And we cut to commercial, but I'll tell you what happens after when we get back.
All right. Let's take our first break. Still got 3 hours left to go. We'll see you in just a little bit. We'll be right back.